Hey guys, so today we're looking at lesson 1. Let me zoom in a little bit here. And normally we would pass out the papers in class and then record our information that you see here, number of papers passed, time in seconds, ratios, and so forth. But because we're doing this virtually, I'm going to go ahead and tell you how many papers we passed out. So we're going to do this paper pass out 4 times, and each time we're going to pass out 24 papers. And then we recorded the time and how many seconds that it took to pass out those papers. So go ahead and in your table, make sure that these values are recorded. And then let's look at the ratio. So ratios can be written in 3 different ways. So we're going to write these in the 3 different ways here. So the first one would be 24 to 12. And in this case, we're using a colon, or those double dots that you see. You can also write it with the word 2, 24 to 12. And then the third way you can write a ratio is like a fraction. So 24 over 12. So let's look at the next set. We've got 24 to 11, 24 to 11, and 24 to 11. Go ahead and take just a minute, pause your video, and see if you can do number 3 and number 4. Okay, number 3. And trial 4. If your table doesn't look like this one, go ahead and pause the video and fix your table at this time. Okay, so rate. What I want to tell you about rate is that rate is represented in words. And those words might be miles per hour or dollars per ounce. There's a lot of different rates that we can use. And in this one, it's papers per second. Papers per second. A rule of thumb for my classroom is if I write it, you write it. That's usually the way things need to go. So in this particular one right here, when we're trying to find the rate, we want to say, can we simplify that? Can we divide 24 divided by 12? Because a fraction bar in essence means division. So can we do 24 divided by 12? It's 2. So 2 papers per second. In the next one, can we easily divide 24 by 11 in our head? No, we can't. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we set this up. We want to show our work, so at least I'm showing that I'm dividing 24 divided by 11. Now if I want to use my calculator at that point, I can, and calculate the actual number. I end up getting 2.2 papers per second. For trial 3, again we're doing 24 divided by 10. Now if we divide by a power of 10, division means we're moving the decimal to the left, and we can just count how many zeros we have. And in this case, we have 1 0. So if we take the number 24, we move the decimal 1 point to the left, we end up getting 2.4 papers per second. And on the last trial, we can divide 24 divided by 8. If you know your multiplication and division facts, then you know 24 divided by 8 is 3 papers per second. So now that we have this information, we can compare our rates right here, and we can see that the fastest time that we had was in trial 1, where it only took, I take that back. The fastest time was in this one, right here, because we were able to pass out 3 papers in a second. The one that was the slowest was here, where we only passed out 2 papers per second. Unit rate. So unit rate is just the number. So whereas the rate has the words like papers per second or miles per hour, unit rate is just the number. So in this case, this is the unit rate, 2 and 2 tenths, 2 and 4 tenths, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to look at example number 2. We'll look at our class by gender. So if we were actually in class and working on this together, we would count the number of boys we have and the number of girls we have, and we would compare that to a second class. But I'm going to go ahead and give you some values here. So we're going to say in class 1, we have 14 boys, and we have 12 girls. Class 2, we're going to have 7 boys and 6 girls. Now what we want to do is we want to figure out the ratio of boys to girls. So the boys number needs to come first. And so we're going to do 14 to 12. The most common way to write a ratio is like a fraction, so using that fraction bar there. And when I say 14 to 12, I know that I can simplify this, which means I can divide both of those numbers by a common number. I can divide both of these by 2, and I get 7 over 6. 7 over 6 is not divisible by anything, so that is as simplified as we get. And then we can also write it like this, 7 to 6. Class 2 is already 7 to 6. So we can see here that the ratio of boys to girls in both classes is the same. The thing about ratios is that it could be boys to girls, or it could be boys to all the kids in the entire 7th grade. So we're going to add up the 14 plus 7, and what do you get when you add 14 plus 7? 21. So 7th grade has 21 boys, and how many girls do they have? 18. So we can make comparisons of class 1 has 14 boys to total boys is 21, or a comparison of, say, girls 12 to all of the girls 18. We could also make a comparison to combine both the 21 and the 18 for total kids in the 7th grade, and 21 plus 18 would be 39 total kids. So we could do boys to total students. So there's a lot of ways we can look at this. Create a pair of equivalent ratios by making a comparison of quantities discussed in this example. And so we've talked about several of those that we could do. We could do boys to total students. And so if we do just boys all together, that would be 21, and total students would be 39. If we did boys in a particular class, we would just simply write that number over 39 if we wanted to compare it to 39 total students. Let's go on to the next part, which is the better by. So better by is one of the most important things that you're going to use. You're actually going to use that in real life, so I like using the better by questions. To start off, I want to tell you to use money divided by amount. And so let's analyze this problem to see what our information is. So Value Mart's going to advertise a back to school sale on pencils. There's a pack of 30 for $7.97, and there's a 12 pack of pencils for $4.77. And then we want to identify our questions. So which is the better buy, and how do you know? So notice that we have two different questions here. We're going to split our screen into the 30 pack and the 12 pack. So if we're going to do money divided by amount, we have $7.97 divided by 30. And on the 12 pack, we have $4.77 divided by 12. Our goal here is to try to figure out how much it is for one pencil. You can divide this by hand, or you can put this into your calculator. If you put this into your calculator, you're going to come up with a decimal number that is larger than what money looks like. So I would get this if I put this into my calculator. Well, what I need to do here is I need to understand that money is based on 2 decimals. Yet I have 4 here. So I've got to look next door from my last decimal place that is used in money and look at the 5. Does the 5 make the 6 go up or stay the same? It makes it go up. So instead of it being 0.2656 cents per pencil, it is 27 cents per pencil. Okay? We do the same process over here. We want to make sure that we're dividing this, and when we get this, we also get 4 decimal places. So we want to make sure that we are observing these two and asking ourselves, does 9 need to go up or stay the same? And if 9 goes up, since it goes up to the next penny, 39 cents, and then the next penny would be 40 cents. And so we've got 40 cents per pencil. Now we've done some math, we've shown our work, but have we answered our question here? Which is the better buy? Well, would you rather pay 27 cents per pencil or 40 cents per pencil? 27 cents per pencil. So our answer here is the 30 pack is the better buy. Second question, how do you know? It is cheaper per pencil. And I can see that because I can see my amounts right here. I've shown my teacher the division. Even if I didn't divide it by hand, I showed them that's what I'm thinking. And so that's what I need you guys to do on your work. I think that's the end of this lesson, guys, so let's go to our problem set.